Well, the 53-man roster is being set, and therefore, a few guys have been cut. Let's Talk Lions. Welcome back to an all-new episode here at Let's Talk Lions. My name is Jay. Thank you for joining. If you were new to the channel, welcome. Glad to be here. Returning subs, guys, got some hats for sale. If you want one, or two, or three, or four, or that's it. Just a heads up, this Saturday, September 4th, I will have a live stream at 11 a.m. We're going to go over the 53-man roster. We're going to break down a lot of stuff heading into the season, but it is also a celebration of the 1-year birthday of Let's Talk Lions. So join me. Yours truly might even eat some cake or pie. I'm more of a pie guy, but let's be clear, in the end, all I really want is a donut. So maybe I should get on that. And then I'll blow out a candle. It's good. Today, the list of cuts are coming in. They are still rolling in at this point of making this video. Some of them being guys like Geronimo Allison, Jahlani Tavai, Craig Reynolds, Bruce Hector, Tavante Beckett, and more. You're seeing a ton of guys get the cut today. Now, in the same way, there's guys like Jerry Jacobs, AJ Parker, who are on the bubble, who are making the 53-man roster, so it's a phenomenal day for some guys. We also acquired Trinity Benson by trade from our friends out in Denver. Mountain Mama, take me home. However, the major story here is the cutting of Jahlani Tavai. I tell you what, man, it has been one roller coaster with Tavai. I think he could be an asset for another team, for another coach, another anything. It just wasn't going to happen here in Detroit. I mean, specifically, we saw what he was able to do under Patricia, which in and of itself was a shiza show. And so it's tough because Patricia's the guy who picked him. Our second-round draft pick under Patricia brings him in, and it all just collapsed. Now, one thing that I do love is that the coaching staff here in Detroit gave him his best shot. They said, you got to lose 17, 20 pounds, come on in this season, be able to move. And I'll tell you what, I do give the coaching staff credit for saying, we want to give you a shot. I also give Tavai a ton of credit for losing that weight and for giving it his best shot. Unlike a guy like Perriman, who said, I'll take $2 million and run away. Just hopped on the nearest freight train and right out of town. I truly hope the best for him. I hope that he lands somewhere else, that he has a solid career. And don't be surprised if he finds himself out in New England under Matty P once again. He never lived up to what we were promised. He wasn't good in coverage. He wasn't great at defending against the run. And he was not fast. That was one of the biggest things that we saw from him day one. He was never quick on his feet. Watching him in these preseason games, seeing it again, even after shedding those 20 pounds, just not fast. Wasn't fast to begin with, wasn't fast now, didn't have that, couldn't move sideline to sideline, was not going to work here. So the cut had to happen. That was something that we have all been knowing, calling for as Lions fans since the beginning of this offseason. Just like, when is it going to happen? When are you going to cut him? But again, I do respect the coaching staff for giving him a shot. Then there's somebody like Craig Reynolds, affectionately known as Netflix. These types of cuts hurt emotionally as an individual, but when you take a step back, it's the right move. It's the right move. I love Craig Reynolds. I love what he was able to do as a backup, this guy coming in, jockeying for a spot. However, the coaches made the right move. And if you're upset about it, if you're still pissed about this, take 20 seconds, be pissed, be upset. However, it is the right move for where we want to go. He was this underdog coming in, the Tom Kennedy, Craig Reynolds, that type of effect where it's a guy coming from the bottom up. It's a beautiful story. However, Craig Reynolds would not have been one of the guys to help accelerate and elevate us to that place. He had to go, unfortunately. The coaching staff made the right move by letting him go. He's our very own White Fang. It's also super cool to see a guy like Jerry Jacobs, undrafted free agent out of Arkansas, make his way to the field to be on that 53-man roster initially. Anything can happen as the waiver wire is coming through, as we start making these other moves. However, initially making that 53-man roster is a huge deal for a guy like Jacobs. Jacobs came out, dogged it since day one, put his head down, and made that grind. He sat there behind Jeff Okuda. He gleaned all he could. That was something that was accounted for time and time again, his gleaning from Jeff Okuda. I love that. He has put in the work, and he deserves it. We've seen him shine. Geronimo Allison had to go. Honestly, a lot of times forgot he was even a wide receiver on this team because he opted out of the 2020 season, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, we have Geronimo Allison? Question mark? Exclamation mark? But then you come back, you start looking, you watch him in training camp, you watch him in the preseason games. Nothing doing, and it is very possible you see this move where we bring in from Denver Trinity Benson. You don't need Geronimo Allison at that point. It's going to be a wild couple days until the rocking of the boat settles and we see the 53-man roster for what it is. Those are my thoughts at this point moving forward. I do love some of the cuts. The Tavai cut had to happen. Mike Ford wasn't a big fan of. Terrell Crosby could be kind of scary with the depth of tackles in the NFL at this point. Who knows? Trusting the process. That is it. Once again, this Saturday, September 4th, join me for a one-year birthday party live stream, 11 a.m. It's going to be a good time. Bring yourself some coffee. I'll bring myself some coffee. Look, we got right here. It's empty.